Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Gonna do a little speaker replacement mod today for the Tacoma back here. And for those of you that don't know, these are gonna be replacing the front speakers, which are located here. One on each side, of course. So we have to take the door panels off and pull those OEM speakers out and replace them. Now, first of all, I'll show you what I got. These were sent to me by a subscriber to the channel. That's Dennis. I really appreciate, buddy. Thank you very much for sending me these. It should be awesome. But what I've got down here on my little table in front of me, they are, of course, Kicker 6x9 speakers. And you guys can see the part numbers right here, in case you're interested. Also, a little kit to mount them to the existing OEM door holes. There's the part number there for these. And lastly, a couple of wiring harnesses to be able to plug these directly into the existing wiring in the truck and then connect them up to the speakers over here, of course. And the part number for these is right here. And then just a few tools, these are mine of course, that should be all that I need to be able to do this mod. So we're gonna go ahead, set you guys up, and pull these door cards and all that good stuff off and get this done. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start on the passenger door, because if I screw something up over here, it's on the passenger side. Anyway, we're going to start disassembling, get this door card off so we can get the speaker in. And the first place we're going to start, I think, is right over here in the corner. There's this little push pin like thing. All you need is some kind of a screwdriver, and I'm going to use a Phillips and something dull because I don't want to mar the finish, you know. So there's a little pin in the middle, and I'll show you this in a second. You just push it in and pull this thing out. It's really that simple. This is what I'm talking about. On the end, there is a little pin there. You guys can see right here. You just push that in and then pull this pin out. That's the first thing I'm going to start with. Next, we're going to remove this panel. It should just pull right off. Shouldn't really be an issue, so we're going to give that a try. Let's see. Being a little difficult on this side, so we're going to use our tool. And that's it. And you can see under here there are some little white clips. Ideally, to put this back on, I think they really should be on these pieces where they plug into. So we're going to take them out. They just squeeze together and pull right out of there, assuming they don't go flying. And then you just put them right back over these little clips here on the inside of this panel. So we're going to do that. Plus, if any of them were to fall out, you know, we can keep track of them this way. That's it. So now they're all on. That took way longer than it should have. I'm going to use this as my tray for parts. So this little push pin I took off, we're just going to lay that right in there. There'll be a couple screws and things too. Speaking of that, we have a couple of screws we need to take out. A Phillips head here inside or behind the door handle, and then here in the pull to pull it shut. In here where the pull is, there's this little carpeted piece. So you just want to pull that out. It just sits in there. And give you a good chance to clean it there. There we go. We'll set that in our little parts tray there. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the screw out from inside here. And pay attention to when you do this because the screws are different. The bigger one actually goes in here. The smaller one goes up here inside the door handle. So we're going to go ahead and take that. There's that screw. Put it in our little parts thing. Next, inside the door handle, we have a cover that we need to pop off. Right beside the little red, and you guys will see this if you're doing it, but the little red area that you have on your manual door lock, You just want to stick a pry tool right on the other side of that and pop that cover off. Once you get it, it just pops right off. You guys can see it's just held on by these little clips here. Set that in our little tool area inside. And that will reveal the other screw that you need to take off right behind here, the smaller headed one, remember. There's the screw. Again, it is the smaller one. Set that in our little tool holder there. Now we need to pop off the control panel here. For that, I'm just going to use probably my bigger trim tool, a little more leverage. You want to start here in the back because it kind of lifts up and goes forward a little bit to get it off. So I'm going to kind of see if I can pull it up a little bit just to get started. And then gently get some things popping. And it just pops out that easily. Now on the back of this, of course, you're going to have 2 jacks. One thing that's kind of neat that I just noticed, Toyota has marked them. So there's 2 green marks on mine. Let's see if I can zoom you guys in. Maybe you can see that. It's kind of cool. There's 2 green marks on here so that they line up, so that you know that you put them in the right way because it's not marked on the other side. So we're going to pop these 2 off, and then we'll be ready to pull the door trim off. There should be a release, and there is on the inside of the bigger one. So we're going to push that down, and that pulls this right out. On the other one, let's see, its release is on the bottom. So same thing, you want to push that in, ideally, and then it pulls right off. And now we have our little tray here free. So we'll set this aside. It won't fit in our little tray. But we'll just set it in here to keep it safe. Get rid of our screwdriver because we don't need any more tools. I think we're all set. Let me zoom you back out for the next part here. Now, when you pull this door off, you just start here on the edge and give it a quick little zoom. And then over here and a quick little zoom. That will release the pins behind. Then you can work your way up and kind of pull a little bit. Now, one thing you have to be careful of course, there is a cable in here for the lock and the door handle. You'll want to make sure that you don't pull the door too hard because you have to disconnect those cables. So let's go ahead and do that. We should just be able to give it a little pop down here. All right. That one wanted some muscle. Now, inside the door here, let's see if I can get you guys so you can see. There are some cables right here, and they just have little balls on the end. So all you have to do is kind of pull them out and then twist up so the ball comes out of what it's seated in. It's really very simple. Start with the top one. Like so. Like so. And then we have our door free. Now, I did pop out a couple of these white little connector things, so I do want to make sure we get these back in. So I'll show you that. And like I said, there were 2 of them that I popped off. One is going to go right here. Just slips on, very easy. And the other, where is it hiding? Right over here in the corner, it just pops right back in as well. These are the push pins that hold the door in, of course. So we've got those back in. Now we've got the door and the speaker exposed. So next we're going to take the speaker out. Okay, now that we've got the speaker exposed, first we need to disconnect the connector here, and it's marked in green as well. Zoom you guys in a little. It's marked in green as well right here on the front edge, so if you match it up you can't get it wrong putting it back in. But we should just be able to push in the little pin. It's on the outside edge right here. There, that's it. That releases it, no big deal. And then the speaker itself is just held in by four, of course, 10mm bolts. The holy grail of working on the Tacoma. So we're going to go ahead and pull those out, one on each corner. All right, that's all four bolts. Go ahead and pull that speaker out, and that's it, we're out. So we're going to go over and compare this now to the new one, and I must say, so far, this thing feels like it weighs nothing. Let's go over and check out the new one. All right, we've got the OEM speaker here, and we've got the new speaker here, and what a difference, at least weight-wise. Now, one other thing, check out this little dinky magnet. I mean, the magnet's what it's all about, right? You want to have good sound, you need to have a big magnet. So that's the little dinky magnet we have on the OEM speaker. And check out this massive thing on the kicker speaker. Look at that thing. It's huge. Look at that compared to the other one. Of course, you can't see with my arm in the way. Look at that. This would eat that up. Anyway, now we need to mount the new speaker on the bracket. We're done with this, so I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we'll set it aside. You never know. As I mentioned earlier, the kit did come with these brackets. My experience with these crazy things, the holes don't line up. They are universal, and that means that they work for everything, but they work for nothing. And I'm sure the holes aren't going to line up on this. I've already tested the screws that came with it, these screws, and they don't hold very well in these notches that they're supposed to screw into unless I'm doing something wrong. So I'm going to use a little bit fatter screw. And yeah, I know it's chrome or stainless steel, but you won't be able to see it because it's going to be behind the door. So we need to go ahead and position the speaker in here. And one more thing before I do that I'll mention, there is a cutout on the top of this bracket right here. That is for the wiring to run through. So you do want to make sure that you feed your wiring through and connect it to the speaker before you put this back in the truck. All right, so we have it the right way. Let's take a look here. The holes, as I mentioned, do not line up at all. So it looks like maybe 3 of the holes are going to line up and the other one is not. So we're going to have to add our own hole. I'll do that. I'll just drill through the provided ring here, or the ring that Crutchfield sent, and we'll make our own hole in it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing mounted on, and then we'll come back on and get it in the truck. All right, as I mentioned, the brackets and the holes in the speaker itself don't line up very well. So I actually drilled 2 extra holes to fasten this thing down. You can see I've got my own screws in here. These are, let's see, 10 by 3/4 screws. They work very well. This thing isn't going anywhere. So now we're going to go ahead and get this thing mounted inside the truck. First, while we're out here with some space, we need to go ahead and feed our harness through and get it connected to the back of the speakers, or speaker rather. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to feed it through this hole in the top of the bracket. Don't forget to do this. If you're like me, you'll have the whole thing assembled and then realize you didn't connect the harness. So let's go ahead and get these on. Be careful when you do this. They can only fit on one way, so you can't screw this up. But this plug is very fragile. So kind of hold it when you push it on. You don't want to just put pressure on that and push it on, or you will break these pins. Matter of fact, the one that I'm looking at looks like it was a return and is bent. You guys can see that this is bent. It's not supposed to be up and kind of crooked like that. It's supposed to be flat like this. So I'm betting this was a return speaker. I'm not sure. Maybe it was bent in production, but we're going to use it anyway. It should be okay. Let's go ahead and get the bigger one on here. All right, we've got that on. So we're nice and solid there. I think everything is good. Now we're going to go ahead and put this in the truck. All right, let's go ahead and get this in. Should be pretty simple to do, I think. Make sure we have our wire pulled through. That's okay. And get a couple of these screws started to hold things in place. Let's make sure we get the right ones. Okay. Again, it doesn't take much. So let's go ahead and reconnect our speaker wire. Let's see. And I had mentioned before about the plugs matching. Of course, the new harness does not have any ink on it, so it doesn't match anything, but it's pretty easy to tell which way it goes, so shouldn't have a problem with that. You could hear the snap, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead actually and tape this down a little bit right here because I don't want this bouncing around inside here. So I'm just going to kind of tape it down somewhere here on the side, and then it shouldn't make any noises. So let me go grab some tape and we'll do that. There, I think that's pretty good. Might not be the best taping job in the world, but it's done. So now we need to test it. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go over and turn the truck on, make sure everything works okay. I'd play it for you, but copyright and all, you know. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're all tested. Everything sounds fantastic. That means it's time to put everything back together. So I've got the door card in my hand, and we're going to start with these cables right here. And remember, we have white on the top, a green on the bottom. That's how they connect inside on the door handles, or handle. So let's go ahead and see if I can't get these back on correctly. Make sure I get it in the right way, of course. Just like so. Man, I love Toyotas. I got to tell you, this stuff is so easy to do and it works so well. I did all this and I haven't broken a pin yet. We'll see on the other side, but I think I'm okay. That's it. I don't believe I've forgotten anything. We have the door pushed in. We have the beauty panel and the bolt or nut screw underneath. We have the screw under here with the carpet or felt piece, and the push pin and the side part back on here. So that's it, we're done. Not too bad. I'll be interested to see how long this video comes out in real time. To be honest, I didn't take a lot of breaks or anything like that in filming. Really, the longest part of the whole process here was just putting the new speaker mount bracket, if you will, on the speaker. And that's only because it's really not a great design. The screws didn't fit very well, so I did my own, had to drill a couple holes. It's not a big deal, certainly not difficult, but did add a little bit of time to the process. I'd say maybe 5 minutes. Anyway, that's it. That's how you change a speaker in a Toyota Tacoma, at least the front two speakers. We've done the kickers before. If you're interested in seeing that, there is a video up on the channel that shows how to replace the kicker speakers in the front, or the the tweeter speakers in the front, they're kickers as well. So far, it sounds pretty good. I'm going to clean all my stuff up and go take a ride in the truck and see what it sounds like on the road. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Click that subscribe button if you haven't before. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.